So please, ladies and gentlemen, give a very warm welcome to our Minister, Arlene Foster.
Well, thank you very much, Nuala, and can I thank Francis and his team for the very warm invitation to be here today, and also to thank the orchestra for what has been absolutely fabulous entertainment thus far, and I look forward to their third piece later on. It is good to be back. I'm delighted to be back with you in the chamber again, and it's good to be back with John Reid, and I'm delighted that John is here this afternoon. John was here, you may recall, in 2001, 2002, difficult times for us here in Northern Ireland, and I'm sure some 10 years later, it must be very pleasing for him to come back and to see the difference that we have here in Northern Ireland, not least the stability we have been able to achieve, which in turn I think encourages everyone here, and indeed me myself, to do business not just here at home, but right across the world. And so welcome back, John, and we very much look forward to your speech later on. I don't need to tell everybody in this room that the economic climate, as we all know, has been very challenging over this past 3 years, and indeed continues to be so. However, one of the reasons I'm very glad to be back in this portfolio is because of the opportunities which lie ahead for us here in Northern Ireland. There's a real push now from government and from the business community, people here in this room, to have a meaningful catalyst for higher economic growth and for more employment here in Northern Ireland. And obviously I believe a big part of that lies in relation to the positive change that I believe would come about with the devolution of the power to lower corporation tax, and I'll say a little bit more about that towards the end of my remarks. But I did want to say what else we were doing apart from the huge push that obviously we're all engaged on around corporation tax. Significant work has taken place in the Executive Subcommittee on the economy. You may recall that that was set up after the independent review on economic policy, and that group brings together ministers from right across the executive, and we've been working on our economic strategy. Obviously, the lowering of corporation tax will very much feed into that strategy, but we've been looking at our economic priorities and how we can bring about real change here in Northern Ireland. You will all remember that in our last programme for government, we put the economy very much at the centre of that, and that obviously was before the global recession took hold. I'm very glad that it was at the centre of our programme for government when it did take hold, and I'm very much of the opinion that it should remain at the centre of our programme for government when a new programme for government comes forward. And what we've done with our economic strategy so far is the high-level themes have been sent out for consultation, and I know many people in this room will have been looking at those themes, and really they're around rebuilding the economy here in Northern Ireland and rebalancing. And in respect of rebuilding, we were able to secure £18.9 million of a short-term employment scheme from my good friend Sammy Wilson, and he is a good friend because I got 18.9 million. And what Invest Northern Ireland tends to do with that is to try and target jobs that ordinarily they wouldn't target, to try and generate employment in areas right across Northern Ireland, to try and bring employment back in. As you know, our unemployment figures continue to grow, and it is an increasing issue for me, particularly in the area of youth unemployment, and I'm very much looking forward to a meeting with Stephen Farry this week in relation to youth unemployment. As well as that, we've had the restructuring of Invest Northern Ireland, which was another outcome of the independent review of economic policy. And the idea is that Invest Northern Ireland will be engaging right across the business space and not just with what was known as their clients in the past. And they will be talking to small businesses, they will be talking right across the piece, and I think that has been largely welcomed by organisations like the Chamber of Commerce. Tourism, of course, is a huge joy to me, and it's part of the portfolio I very much enjoy, and coming up to 2012, 2013, we really are coming up to a tipping point in relation to our tourism product here. We have the Titanic Signature project, as we all know, that's going to be finished for next year. Yes, it will be finished for next year, April 2012. And then we have the Giants Causeway Visitor Centre, which will be finished in July of next year. And wrapped up in all of that is all of the events that will take place in 2012, moving on to the UK City of Culture in 2013. So there's a huge amount happening in tourism over the next couple of years. And I've told the tourism sector that the time for planning is well behind us and the time for delivery is very much with us here. We just want to say a few little words about energy and telecoms as well. Obviously James is with us, so I do want to reflect on what he has said as well. But in relation to energy, I do know that speaking to companies, whether they're big or small across Northern Ireland, that energy prices continue to be a huge issue for us all. And obviously it's a global concern, but we must do what we can in the Northern Ireland Executive to try and alleviate those concerns. I very much want to see the extension of the gas network right across Northern Ireland. I'm working on that at the moment in renewables. I'm looking forward to introducing a renewable heat incentive, which I know a lot of people have been waiting on. And we very much need to push on with our north-south interconnector, because at present the lack of that interconnector is costing us tens of millions of pounds every year. And if we had that interconnector, it would bring us that sustainability that we need in relation to the energy sector. So sustainability and lowering energy costs remains a key element for me in the aspect of energy. In telecoms, James is absolutely right. We lead Europe in relation to our broadband availability. However, we do need to do more. Particularly in relation to mobile coverage, Northern Ireland is particularly bad. And I do very much hope that Ofcom in the near future will set regional targets for us in the United Kingdom instead of national targets, because if they set a national target, frankly, they don't have to do anything in Northern Ireland in respect of mobile phone coverage. And we all know that people are downloading and using mobile apps all of the time now, and doing so, we need to get the coverage up here in Northern Ireland. So that's about rebuilding. Very quickly on the rebalancing part, inevitably I wanted to talk about corporation tax. We have a stable government here now in Northern Ireland, and I know that nobody appreciates that more than the business community here in Northern Ireland. But to paraphrase the Prime Minister yesterday, we need to move on. We need to move on and deal with the imbalances in our economy. We need to move on and deal with the gap in productivity here and between ourselves here and the rest of the United Kingdom. And we need to move on and make Northern Ireland the centre of excellence, which I know it can and should be. So in that respect, I believe that if we were able to get the power to lower corporation tax, it would be a hugely powerful tool to help us to do all of those things. And I don't think that anybody, certainly probably nobody in this room, disputes the fact that lowering corporation tax will stimulate growth in the economy. I think the discussion is more about whether the benefits will outweigh the costs. And from the research I have received, I very much believe that lowering corporation tax can achieve a large increase in foreign direct investment, many more jobs right across the community for small businesses and larger business, and I think that's a critical point. We can get more higher value jobs, and we will see a significant convergence with living standards in the rest of the United Kingdom. So we must continue to push Treasury for the devolution of the power, and I hope you've all taken the opportunity to answer that call to respond to the consultation that's ongoing at the moment. So ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I want to thank you all for your support over this past 3 years. I very much want to ask you to continue to work with me and as we make Northern Ireland an even better place to do business in. Tourism and the tourism industry and the Tourist Board have a new slogan called One Team, One Voice. That's about bringing industry and government together and really pushing forward the messages about Northern Ireland as a place to visit. And I hope, Francis, that industry and businesses and government can replicate that message of one team, one voice, and I think we can make a real difference. Thank you very much.